So let's try this again with the mic actually plugged into my computer, so I don't have to mess around wondering why there's no sound, why nothing's recording, because I just did that. Anyway, this week, this is to review what I did this week, and I wanted to try and apply what I had learned in the previous weeks with learning a little bit of anatomy of the torso and use that with vine charcoal so that I can concentrate on pushing and pulling with the charcoal and creating forms. And so let's take a look at what I came up with. So the first one is just a simple pencil sketch to ease into the week that I did. On Mondays generally I still don't know what I'm doing for what I'm going to be concentrating on for the rest of the week. So I think from now on I'll just do a simple sketch in pencil, because it's the easiest thing with the lowest barrier of entry for me, and then I can, once I start sketching, I can start forming a plan in my head, but I can't seem to do that until I actually start doing something. So let's take a look at the next one. The rest of them from now will be male torso studies. They'll be mainly bodybuilders. This one was a little bit different because the back muscles were a little bit more subtle, and I wanted to give that a go, because not everyone is a totally jacked bodybuilder. Anyway, I think that I could have grouped the values a little bit better and blended the charcoal in a little bit more pleasing manner. I think it's a little bit too messy still. All in all, it's not too bad. This next one, I really couldn't get it that day. It just wouldn't work. It was a bodybuilder, and you know, the photo looked great, but I really couldn't do it justice. I don't know what happened. I think I lost sight, because I was concentrating on the muscle groups. I lost sight on the actual forms and perspective of how he was facing, where his head was. The placement of the head was really hard, which is something that I didn't really want to concentrate on, but because that was weak, it messed up the whole thing. I think part of the problem was that I just got too stiff. I just got too involved in representing what I was seeing without actually putting a little bit of something else into it. And this one shows that. It is a representation of the reference, but there's nothing special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah, I was getting too caught up in trying to create the correct muscle groups, to create the correct blends, that I was just making myself too restrict. And in this one as well, it's still really stiff. Like, I was putting muscles where it should go, but that doesn't necessarily make the overall piece look good. But the vine charcoal is good in that you can move it around, so I was quite happy to practice with that, even though these ones didn't come out very well. So I took about 10-15 minutes, threw myself on the bed and sulked, and then got up and got on the computer again and started browsing Pinterest again. But this time I was browsing charcoal drawings, and I came across one that was just like a big blob of charcoal on the paper, and someone had actually made a face out of it, and I thought, oh, maybe I should try that. Maybe I should just try and put down a gestural, really broad strokes of the vine charcoal on its side, and then work from that, push that around. And that's what these last three are, and I think they turned out a lot better than the first ones. Not as constricted, not as, have to follow the rules, and this is what this is, and you have to draw it like this. It was more of, this tone here looks a little bit like this muscle. If I just move it slightly, if I move the charcoal slightly this way, then I can represent the form of that muscle. And it worked out. It made it so much more enjoyable. And then I loosened up even more and got even more broad with my strokes, and this last one is the result of that. So I like this one the most. I think it shows more action, and it was really a lot of fun to actually get those first strokes down instead of panicking, thinking, oh, is this constructed right? Well, no, it's not, because it's just a big thing of black charcoal on the paper, and I make the shape of the form of the body out of that. The process seemed to go a lot smoother. So that's what I did last week, and this video is a little bit late because I threw my back out, so I don't know. It just it was sore to sit down for too long at the computer. Because I'm a day behind, I don't know what I'm going to do this week. Not next week, because it's this week, unless I take a week off. I don't know. We'll see.